Grand evening or grand rising, everyone. It is Saturday, April 11th, 2026. It is 0200 hours and 33 minutes Central Daylight Time. And we have several new developments. Not as many as the last time. I've been doing one of my other jobs mainly earlier this night. It is now World War III, Week 7. It is the 7th week of the total kinetic phase of World War III. This will likely be less than 30 minutes as the last time was. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Especially share to those who will take all of this knowledge and information seriously and truly prepare for the time ahead. Things are intensifying by the day. Still, it is quite intensifying even by the day. So let's get into the news here and further here tonight on this initial live stream recording that is posted to my YouTube channel. The same as my username, as you can see there under my profile photo here on X, where I show and talk about all of these things, especially very important ones. It is nearly everything when I come on here and talk about it. Things are intensifying by the day. I heavily emphasize that. Let's get into the news here. So we have this here. We'll start with this. This is quite interesting. It's a great idea. This is in this video here someone put up, and it is one of the best ideas that I've seen. I love these AI build concepts, like these build concept videos, as you can see here. Amazing. You can see all the stocked up items in this first room of the concept, the AI concept videos that this guy put up, or whoever it is. It's great to have a setup like this. Everyone should try to have a setup that looks a lot like this. Even in a shipping container, even if it is one, though you would have to organize it quite a bit. Having what was it? How many shipping containers? 3, 4, 5 of them. So yes, 5 shipping containers is awesome. This whole setup is maybe $100,000 or so, up to $1 million. So this room here, as it's going to show in a second. This room here, you can see the water storage, all the foods, storable foods, all those jars. This is a very good setup, a very good example of an amazing preparedness setup to have. If it's even, which it is possible, if possible, you want to have even more than is shown in this first room. Continuing on to the second shipping container. Then you have the sleeping quarters in this room, this shipping container, the second shipping container room. There's a lot of beds in this room. There's what is that? 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. 8 beds in this one shipping container room with AC on the ceiling and other um, looks like a vent there as well, and amazing lighting. Some awesome setup. Then you have this room. It's an amazing example as well. You could see the the plants, the plants that are stored in the shipping container. So you want to have a lot of like a personal garden setup or something like that here. And then there's even a kitchen, a whole kitchen built into this shipping container with more storable stuff stored in jars and other stuff under that. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then we have this stove right here. You have the stove and everything, and an oven, another shelf full of jars. Continuing on. Then there's this like war room right here. Hang on, stand by, stand by. I had some background noise to deal with. I have returned. Thank you for standing by. So you can see this room here. It's like a command center, a war room type shipping container. It has all of this in it. I mean, you could see and this again this is an AI concept video I've come across recently. You could see that nice table set up, all those monitors, the AC. It has the weapon storage there. Absolutely amazing. Where several weapons are stored in that container there. TV on the wall, another AC. Amazing AI concept video. Like a printer, cabinets, amazing all around. Missed that whole video uninterrupted. Five shipping containers and all of that fit into them and more. And that is in someone's like backyard. This is a backyard underground bunker AI concept video here. Amazing. I love these videos, especially one that is related to preparedness, and it is, yes, as I said there, the perfect time to have all of that. Amazing. I'd have more than that if I had that budget. That is one of my largest issues. Though I make it work, I adapt, I improvise, adapt, and overcome, something I've learned years ago. This is from the leading report. Further breaking news. After pressure from President Trump, NATO says they are willing to help in the Strait of Hormuz. So NATO is going to be going into the Strait of Hormuz with the other U.S. forces and possibly Israelis, uh, and they are going to help with the Strait of Hormuz. I'm sure with its opening and similar opening, occupying it, defending it, whatever it may be, NATO, many of those countries are now getting involved in World War III and the Strait of Hormuz as it is needed. It is very needed for the Strait of Hormuz to be opened and occupied by NATO forces. This is a huge help from NATO. This is a indirect news report of Article 5 being activated in a way. Maybe Article 5 got activated in the background sometime and they didn't report on that publicly to reduce panic. Though NATO going to the Strait of Hormuz to help with it is an act under Article 5. That's one of the things that is included to do with Article 5. So we have NATO getting further involved with World War III, the total kinetic phase of World War III, as we are now in the 7th week of the total kinetic phase of World War III. Further evidence of further NATO involvement. The UK is a NATO country. UK armed forces are reportedly preparing new national plan to ready the whole nation for war, they said. They said ready the whole nation for war. They have a small military, so they absolutely would need to do some kind of military draft. So we have a military draft possibly coming to the UK as their military is very small. They have maybe 50,000 in their entire military. Not much equipment and ammunition in the UK. Then we have Finland, another more recent NATO country. Finland is to make a statement against nuclear weapons and removing its ban. So Finland is now in the process of making nuclear weapons. I don't know why it says statement against nuclear weapons. That's a typo there. Finland will make a statement for nuclear weapons and remove its ban, is what that I think he meant to say there. Removing the ban on nuclear weapons for Finland is supportive of nuclear weapons. So we have a strong possibility that Finland may be creating nuclear weapons. They're a very close country to Russia. That's a very good strategic position to have nuclear weapons. The Russians can use the same case for war, though. Due to that, they could use the same case for war as the US and Israel used on Iran. Russia could say we will not allow Finland to have nuclear weapons and invade Finland and be at war with Finland and the rest of NATO. That's how that goes. So we will see what Russia does and how they respond to that. I think they'll use that same case for war and go into Finland and try to prevent Finland from getting nuclear weapons, because that's nuclear weapons on Russia's doorstep right there, in a country that's been quite a rival to Russia for at least 100 years, potentially more than that. They've had wars in the past. So that will be very interesting to see how the Russians and NATO respond to that. It seems we have NATO fully preparing for war with Russia, Iran, eventually China. That's how it all goes. It's inevitable, the war with Russia, and then China gets further involved when it comes to Russia. They are very close allies. China is very close allies with Iran too. At any time, China can join the war. They could join the war on the side of Iran and fight the US and NATO. China is also still preparing to invade Taiwan. They may do that quite soon with these new developments. NATO is fully preparing for war and they are actively joining World War III right now. As I said, it seems Article 5 may have been activated in the background and that was not reported publicly. That is a very strong possibility when it comes to NATO saying they are willing to help in the Strait of Hormuz. So we will see how and what NATO does when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz. On top of all that and other good news, very interesting news, we had Artemis 2 apparently return earlier from its trip around the moon. That's the second Artemis mission that has gone around the moon. I think the first one was 50 something years ago, a very long time ago. And it's absolutely historic. Artemis 2 has returned. Those on board have returned to Earth safely. They went onto a ship. They made splashdown in the water before that. Then they got exfilled from that position by a helicopter to a ship, as I said. And they are safe and recovering well. And they were even able to walk shortly after being back. Just hours after being back, they were able to walk into the medical bay of that ship that they were um, transported to via helicopter. The price of oil is holding. It's quite sideways right now, though it is slowly going up. It's really quite sideways the last few days, though I think it'll keep going up. Gold is very sideways, very horizontal. The price of fuel will continue to rise, especially after this news. They got to catch up with that news, the price of oil that I just read there. We have NATO going to get further involved in the Strait of Hormuz. Then we have, let's see. Let's see here. The U.S. has continued to deploy further, not so much troops, but they are reinforcing. Yes, they actually have. The U.S. has deployed more fighter aircraft, 82nd Airborne troops, and even dual carrier strike groups to the Middle East as the Iran talks begin. The talks with Iran, I think, in Pakistan. Vice President J.D. Vance is even going to that in Pakistan. I think it's in Islamabad, as they call it over there. We have this absolutely huge escalation, and this probably called off those very talks. I'm sure it's very likely. There are reports, very recent reports, within the last few hours or so, that Iran's new supreme leader has sustained severe wounds. Talk about huge breaking news right there. That likely called off the talks, and that's going to really make things absolutely escalate over there and intensify far beyond where it is even right now after all those things I read. So we have a report of Iran's new supreme leader. He potentially sustained severe wounds within the last several hours, or the last day, I'll say. Within the last day, Iran's new supreme leader has reportedly sustained severe wounds. That's a potentially confirmed report right there. Absolutely huge breaking news right there. Let's see here. Okay, that is a confirmation of his condition. Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, he's recovering from facial and leg wounds sustained in the strike that unalived his father. So let's see here. Conducting state of that's what he did. Let's read this here from the start. Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, he's recovering from severe facial and leg wounds sustained in a strike that killed his father, conducting state affairs via audio as Islamabad talks begin. His condition is confirmed by the U.S. Defense Secretary and inner circle sources. So that is confirmed. His condition is confirmed. He's been injured. He's sustained wounds to his face and his legs in the strike that killed the new supreme leader, his father. Absolutely huge confirmation of that right there, of the new Iran supreme leader's condition. Very interesting news there. So it is now true and confirmed. It is now true and confirmed by the U.S. Defense Secretary and inner circle sources. Wow. So keep on preparing. NATO is getting further involved. It is confirmed that the new Iranian supreme leader is actually injured and recovering from his wounds. He is not dead. He is recovering from wounds to his face and his legs. NATO is getting more involved in this total kinetic phase of World War III, this 7th week now. The war is intensifying. It is not dying down. It is not becoming calmer. These talks in Islamabad, if Iran even goes, which I think they are, it will go likely nowhere. It's quite a loop with them. Talks with a terrorist regime tend to go nowhere. So it's quite something. We'll see how J.D. Vance handles all that. I think he wanted to go there and see for himself how much of a terrorist regime they are and how they are. It's very unlikely for a positive outcome with those talks in Islamabad, in Pakistan. Keep on preparing. Whatever happens, say if those talks went well, which is very extremely unlikely, say if they did go well, we still have Russia that will very likely invade the Baltic states soon, especially Finland. Finland may even top that possibility now. And then we have the Chinese still setting up to invade Taiwan. So even if there's a ceasefire or a peace agreement of some kind with Iran, those other things to do with Russia and China, Russia invading the Baltic states and Finland is very possible, and China invading Taiwan is incredibly likely. They've been preparing to do so for over a year. So keep on preparing. Do not get complacent. Do not get overly comfortable, as this situation has not died down. It is not going to. It is intensifying by the day. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video to those you know who may be interested and take preparedness seriously, as preparing is a necessity now. It is not an optional thing. I always recommend physical assets and especially learning new survival skills. And another great example of that is nuclear war survival and learning about how radiation works, and EMP survival when the grid is down. So learning grid down survival. I will be back soon with further news and talking about all of these events and some of the latest breaking news. Once again, thank you all for watching, and love, light, and blessings to you all. I will be back likely within 24 hours for a new video and talking about all of these things and all things preparedness and survival. Please be prepared. Do not be afraid. Stay grounded. Prepare physically, mentally, and spiritually. Once again, love, light, and blessings to you all.